In the early 20th century, the German city of Düsseldorf was gripped by a terror so profound it seemed to spring from the darkest corners of folklore. A shadowy figure stalked the streets, a phantom who became known as the Vampire of Düsseldorf. This is the story of Peter Kürten, a man whose seemingly ordinary life concealed a monstrous secret. Born in 1883, Kürten's childhood was a brutal landscape of poverty and violence. This early exposure to cruelty seemed to plant a dark seed within him, one that would grow into a twisted fascination with power and suffering. His criminal record began early with petty thefts and acts of arson, but these were just preludes to the horrors that would follow. As a young man, he drifted from job to job, a seemingly unremarkable face in the crowd. No one could have guessed the chilling fantasies that swirled within his mind. The late 1920s marked a horrifying escalation. A wave of violent, seemingly random attacks swept through Düsseldorf. People were assaulted, stabbed, and bludgeoned, often with no clear motive. The city's residents lived in a state of constant fear. Letters from the killer, taunting the police and boasting of his crimes, only amplified the public's terror. The press dubbed him the Vampire of Düsseldorf due to the brutal nature of his crimes, some of which reportedly involved him drinking his victims' blood, a detail that, while sensationalized, captured the public's horrified imagination. The police were baffled. The attacks were erratic, the victims varied, and the killer left few clues. They launched one of the largest manhunts in German history, interviewing thousands and pursuing countless dead ends. The pressure was immense. The entire city held its breath, wondering when and where the phantom would strike next. The killer seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once, a ghost haunting the industrial heartland of Germany. Then came a breakthrough. In May 1930, one of Kürten's intended victims managed to survive and provide a description. But it was Kürten's own arrogance that ultimately led to his downfall. He confessed his crimes to his wife, who, fearing she would be implicated, went to the police. On May 24th, 1930, the reign of terror ended. Peter Kürten was arrested, calmly eating a meal in a local cafe. The monster had a face, and it was unnervingly ordinary. The trial of Peter Kürten was a media sensation. He confessed to an astonishing number of crimes, including at least 9 murders and numerous assaults. What shocked the world was not just the brutality of his acts, but his demeanor. He recounted his crimes with a chilling detachment, almost as if he were describing the plot of a novel. He spoke of a compulsion, an overwhelming urge to inflict pain and witness the moment of death. His detailed confessions provided an unprecedented and deeply disturbing look into the mind of a serial killer. Psychiatrists and criminologists flocked to study him. Kürten became a case study, a puzzle to be dissected. They explored his violent upbringing, his early criminal acts, and the complex, twisted fantasies that drove him. He claimed to derive a perverse satisfaction from the public panic he created, even attending the search parties for his own victims to revel in the fear he had sown. He was not a supernatural monster, but a human being whose capacity for evil seemed boundless. This made him all the more terrifying. In April 1931, Peter Kürten was found guilty and sentenced to death. He met his end by guillotine, reportedly expressing a final, chilling curiosity about the sound his own blood would make as it rushed from his neck. After his execution, his head was mummified and dissected, a final attempt by science to understand the abnormality within his brain. But no physical flaw could ever truly explain the darkness that had resided there. The case of Peter Kürten left an indelible scar on the collective psyche. It influenced criminal profiling and our understanding of serial offenders. His story was immortalized in film, most famously Fritz Lang's 1931 masterpiece, which captured the atmosphere of a city paralyzed by fear of a child murderer. The film, though not a direct biography, channeled the real-life terror that Kürten had inflicted upon Düsseldorf. The tale of the Vampire of Düsseldorf serves as a stark reminder that the greatest monsters are not creatures of myth, but of flesh and blood. They can walk among us, hidden behind masks of normalcy, their inner worlds a landscape of unimaginable horror. Peter Kürten's legacy is a chilling chapter in the annals of true crime, a story that continues to fascinate and horrify, forcing us to confront the darkest potentials of the human mind. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary interesting, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most compelling stories.